Welcome to Certified Toxic. Let's get into it.
Perfect. Well, Robert, this video we don't have as much context for as we normally do. I kind of explained it a little bit in the intro, but there are some good questions, I think, to pose afterwards to see, you know, what you would do, whether or not you think this was morally right or wrong. But without further ado, let's jump right in. Oh, man, he looks pretty bloodied up. That is so sad. He really yanked him.
Yes!
Ooh, a little slap.
Yo, trying to fight back a little bit.
Yeah, a mistake.
Beach ass, nigga, don't do that, nigga.
Oh. Oh, they're just dragging him around. They're saying that's what you did, that's what you did.
Let that nigga in the street, bro. Fuck that nigga, bro.
He does have like a dog abuser vibe to him, too.
100%. Why is that?
Soulless and angry looking.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why.
Oh, here's the...
Okay, so before we get into it, because it does have a happy ending. Very few of our videos do, but this one does. Very few. So a couple questions for you here, because I'm curious what you think before we get into the happy part.
Okay.
Hey, there's a happy part. Clearly, the guy getting pulled around is the guy that did that to the dog.
Yeah.
Dog is all bloodied up in the beginning. Really, really sad. Dog abusers have a special place in hell, in my opinion.
Yep.
And so these guys just put the same chain around his neck, which did not look like a very comfortable leash.
No, it was a choker chain.
Yeah, it looks like he literally had like a chain that was slightly barbed wiry, tied in a noose fashion, and was walking his dog that way and yanking him around. So they put that around his neck and dragged him around.
Yep.
So this was obviously very humiliating, but they didn't beat the ever-loving tar out of the guy, at least as far as we saw in the video. There could have been more that wasn't filmed, and there very well could have been.
Right.
But if I'm putting myself in the shoes of the dog abuser, which I don't want to do, but if I was, I think I'd prefer a couple guys jump me and beat the ever-loving shit out of me than be dragged around on a chain in the most humiliating fashion possible and have that video posted on the internet for everyone to see. What would you prefer?
Like exactly what you said.
Yeah.
I'm curious if these guys stumbled upon just the bleeding dog and they got the information out of the guy for what happened to the dog, or if they saw him abusing a dog from afar and ran up and like kind of cornered him.
I have to believe they must have seen the abuse happened in action. Because if they came up and they were like, you know, testing the guy, why is your dog bleeding, bro? The guy's going to be like, oh, he fell down a flight of stairs. What I say when I hit my wife. Stuff like that. But I don't think he would have copped to, I'm beating the shit out of my dog. So it must have been something that they witnessed.
Gotcha.
All right, let's watch the happy part. 3, 2, 1.
So great.
That tail wag is a good son.
Oh,
his tail's wagging.
So happy.
Get you straight. Get you a nice little bath and all that, baby.
Where are they from?
Yeah. What's his name?
Good question.
Prada?
American, for sure.
Prada? Like the shoe? Hey, y'all got my boy living wrong, son? Come on,
Definitely
Prada.
American,
Yeah.
I'll watch you. Give us like 2 weeks, bro. You're gonna like.
So
a
the
brand
text
new
that pops
baby,
up on the screen for people that can't read it, they're gonna go get him a new leash to one that's less choky.
Yep.
They're giving him bones. He talked about how he was gonna give him a bath.
The people who beat the guy took the dog home and are now giving him the life he deserves. Which is
So
amazing.
it wasn't just retribution. They actually are providing a home for the dog post revenge.
Yep.
Which I think justifies the action in a way. Because if they had just beat the guy and left the dog with an abusive owner, what good did they actually do? You know?
You know what? I thought you were saying it justifies beating the dog to know that he might get saved in the future and have a happier life. No, kind of like our channel. You got to know how bad it is to know
to really appreciate the good. Yeah, you know, the dog wouldn't have been as happy had he not been beat prior to that.
So beat your dogs so a hood saint can come by and
beat the shit out of you and humiliate you on the internet and take your dog in for you.
So pro animal abuse.
No, we're not. No, so I was saying Yeah, like if they had just beat up the guy and been like, okay, Pitbull, have fun. Probably this guy taking out his anger on us on you later.
Yeah. One thing I was gonna say is that animals like cats and dogs, you should think of them as like a kid with like a 50 or 60 IQ. Like they literally just do not know better.
Totally.
And so you're just hitting them while they have no idea why they're being hit.
They have, I mean, 99 times out of 100, they don't even know why you're punishing them.
Exactly.
It could have been, like you're saying, it could have been right post them doing something bad.
Yep.
Again, that's a very interesting phrase for a dog because he doesn't know the difference between good and bad, you know?
Yeah.
In most, obviously, dogs can be trained to be obedient and things like that. But again, it's like you're beating a child.
Yep.
Don't be a dickhead.
No.
Treat your dogs well with respect. And if you see anyone abusing them out there, get a group of your friends and drag them around on their leash.
Yeah, please do.
Please.
And if you do want to beat a child, make sure that they've like sawed someone else's head off. Then you might be able to get a slap. Apart from that, though, do not touch children.
Don't touch children, guys. I think that's the main takeaway from this, honestly.
Don't touch children.
And the last thing I wanted to say is all of the comments, I mean, with very, very few exceptions, are saying they don't think that these guys did enough. They were like, I love seeing guys like this get the shit kicked out of him. I wish that I hope he burns in hell. I wish he would have done more. I don't know that I fully agree with the moral implications of that necessarily, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are actually, comment sections are a lot like mob or herd mentality where once there's a spark of some reaction, it just builds and builds and builds into the most heinous action. And so that's kind of why we have a legal system, is because mobs tend to rip people apart and accuse women of being witches and burn gay people alive. And
capital punishment for every crime.
Yeah.
Death penalty no matter what.
Which is totally fine in my book, but
Same.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyways.
It's interesting because humans, I think, do have a natural instinct towards liking to see vigilante justice taking place.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, mob mentality can sometimes take it a little bit too far.
Yep.
I think exactly what they did was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Humiliate the guy. He learned his lesson. They took the dog to a new home. That's beautiful.
Love it.
For anybody in the comment section saying that they should have shot him in the face or tortured him for weeks at a time, maybe you should go to therapy.
Yes.
Check yourself a little bit.
And kill the therapist.
We all love dogs. Kill your therapist. Okay, perfect. Well, other than that, I think that's all I got.
It's
You
time
good?
to level up in this toxic world. Bye.
Bye.